Welcome to Voices of Valor. You have just witnessed a story that has been repeated thousands of times in jungles, deserts, and frozen front lines. If you like stories of patriotism, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. In the dust-choked hills of Helmand Province, Afghanistan, summer 2011, 23-year-old Private First Class Elijah Eli Dawson from Boise, Idaho, crouched behind a crumbling mud wall, heart hammering like a drum in his chest. It was his third week in country, and the reality of war had already shredded the Hollywood fantasies he'd carried from ROTC training. Sweat stung his eyes, his rifle felt impossibly heavy, and every distant pop of gunfire sent ice through his veins. His unit Bravo Company, 1st Battalion, 6th Marines, had just taken fire from an unseen Taliban position. 2 men were down. Radio static crackled in his ear. That's when Staff Sergeant Marcus Griffin appeared beside him like a ghost. Calm/steady, eyes scanning the ridge line with the patience of a hawk. Griff was 42, a Gulf War and Iraq veteran with a Silver Star, 2 Purple Hearts, and a quiet presence that made chaos feel manageable. "Bree!" Kid Griff said, voice low but firm. "Fear's fine. Panic kills." Eli nodded, swallowing hard. "I don't know what I'm doing." Griff clapped him on the shoulder. "You're doing it. Now watch my 6 while I drag Sanchez to cover over the next 72 hours amid sandstorms, ambushes, and sleepless nights in a forward operating base near Sangin. Griff took Eli under his wing. Not with lectures, but with action. He showed him how to read the land, how dry riverbeds hide IEDs, how birds stop singing before an attack, how to clean a rifle blindfolded. "War ain't about being fearless," Griff said one night, sharing lukewarm coffee from a thermos. "It's about doing your job while scared, and keeping your brothers alive." Eli listened. He watched. He learned. But it wasn't just tactics. Griff taught him it was humanity. When a local Afghan boy brought them flatbread, Griff knelt to thank him in broken pat. When a fellow Marine broke down after a firefight, Griff sat with him in silence. No judgment, just presence. "We carry each other," Griff said. "That's how we survive." And for the first time since landing in Kandahar, Eli felt like he wasn't alone. Weeks turned into months. Eli grew sharper, steadier. He earned his nickname Dawson the Dawn for always volunteering for first watch. But the real test came in October during Operation Blackthorn, a sweep through the treacherous green zone near the Helmand River. Intelligence said the area was quiet. It wasn't. As Bravo Company moved through a narrow canal path, an IED detonated under Sergeant Ruiz's Humvee. Chaos erupted. Gunfire erupted from both flanks. Eli froze for a split second, then remembered Griff's words. Scan, assess, act. He returned fire, dragging a wounded corpsman behind cover. But Griff took a round to the leg while pulling Ruiz from the wreckage. Eli sprinted through gunfire, slinging Griff's arm over his shoulder, dragging the 200-pound NCO to safety as bullets kicked up dirt around them. Back at Fob Wolverine, medics stabilized Griff, but evacuation was delayed due to weather. That night, in a dimly lit tent, Griff gripped Eli's forearm. "You saved my life today, son." Eli shook his head. "You taught me how." Griff smiled faintly. "Now you gotta teach others." He reached into his pack and pulled out a worn notebook filled not with battle plans, but with "Name is Lance Corporal Diego Mendes, saved my life em Fallujah, 2004. Corporal Eishakan, Afghan interpreter, killed by Taliban, 2009 Private. Tommy Reeves died holding this position. Sangin, 2010. We remember them," Griff said, "so their sacrifice means something. Write your story. Honor theirs." Eli took the notebook. That night, he wrote his first entry. "Today, I didn't run. I carried Griff home." The next morning, Griff was Medvaseji to Lungestu, Germany. Before he left, he looked Eli in the eyes. "You're ready. Lead like you, care because you do." Eli stood tall, tears in his eyes, but voice steady. "Yes," Sergeant Eli returned to Boise in 2012. Not as the wide-eyed kid who left, but as a changed man scarred, thoughtful, burdened by memory, but anchored by purpose. He enrolled at Boise State University on the GI Bill, majoring in history, but struggled with nightmares and crowds. One rainy afternoon. He visited the Idaho State Veterans Cemetery and placed a stone on the grave of a World War II pilot his grandfather once served with. That's when he saw him. Griff, leaning on a cane, standing before a new headstone. They embraced like brothers. Griff had retired after Helmand, moved to Coeur d'Alene, and started a non-profit called Bros in the Field, a mentorship program pairing new veterans with combat-seasoned elders. I need you, Eli, Griff said. These kids coming home from Syria, from Africa, they're lost, just like you were. Eli joined the program. Every Saturday, he met with 22-year-old specialist Lena Morales, an army medic recently back from Djibouti, who couldn't stop replaying the night she lost a patient in a dust storm. Eli didn't give advice. He listened. Then he shared his own story, the fear, the guilt, the notebook. He took her hiking in the Sawtooth Mountains, teaching her what Griff taught him. Nature doesn't care about your rank. It just is. And sometimes, that's enough. He showed her how to write letters to fallen comrades, how to volunteer at the VA, how to sit with silence without drowning in it. One evening, over campfire coffee near Stanley Lake, Lena said, "You're not just helping me. You're keeping Griff's legacy alive." Eli looked at the stars. "No," he said. "We're building a new one together." That year, Eli and Griff expanded the program to 3 more states. They called it the Chain of Care because healing, like survivao, is passed hand to hand. In 2024, at the National Veterans Memorial in Columbus, Ohio, a crowd gathered under soft autumn light. Eli, now 36, stood at the podium next to Griff, both in civilian clothes, both wearing simple silver dog tags engraved with the names of their fallen brothers. They were unveiling a new installation, a bronze sculpture of 2 soldiers, one older, one younger, passing compass. Beneath it, a plaque read, "We do not inherit courage. We learn it from those who came before and teach it to those who follow." Eli spoke to the crowd of veterans, families, and young service members. War doesn't end when the guns go quiet. It echoes in silence, in sleepless nights, in empty chairs. But so does hope. Griff didn't just teach me how to survive Afghanistan. He taught me how to come home. And now, we teach others to do the same. After the ceremony, a young Marine 23, fresh from Okinawa, approached Eli, eyes wide with uncertainty. "Sir, do you ever stop feeling like you're not enough?" Eli smiled gently. "No, but you learn to carry it with pride. Come walk with me." And so the chain continued. That night, back in Boise, Eli opened Griff's old notebook now, filled with hundreds of names, stories, and letters. On the last blank page, he wrote, "Today, I passed the compass." Outside, the wind swept through the pines, carrying whispers of the past and promises for the future. In the quiet, Eli finally understood survivao wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning of a legacy written, not in blood, but in mentorship, memory, and the unwavering belief that no soldier walks alone.